This weekend, on Sunday in actual fact, at 4:30, Manchester City host Tottenham. Now, many questions being asked about the way Tottenham play under Ange Postecoglou. And will Ange Postecoglou take that attack philosophy, dare he take it, to the Etihad? Because you remember the night that they took on Chelsea at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium recently, and Tottenham were reduced to 9 men. Chelsea won the game by 4-1, but post-match, even though he was criticised about still all-out attack, Ange was saying, no, nothing is going to change my ideas on that.
That's who we are, mate.
So even with 9 men, you're still going to go with that?
Yeah? Even with 5 men, mate, we'll have a crack.
And the fans appreciated that?
Well, that's who we are. We'll take away from that, and we're still in the stages of building a team here, and building a style of play. And I'm not going to chase some short-term fix for what I believe is going to be important for us in the long term.
I absolutely loved that. By your reaction, so did you, Stuart. I mean, even with 5 men, I'd still have a crack. But would it be bold or foolish for Ange to commit this all-out attack, high-line philosophy at City?
I wouldn't say it's bold or foolish, to be honest with you. He's got a footballing philosophy on how he wants his team to play. He wants to stand on the touchline and watch an exciting way of playing. Tottenham play that way. If you ask all their fans, they're absolutely delighted with the way Tottenham play. What they've fallen foul to at this moment in time is too many injuries and suspensions all coming at the same time. And the big ones are Maddison and Van der Ven. Van der Ven's got the pace at the back to go all on, full court press, and he's your security behind. Used to be, in my world, it used to be Des Walker's pace, got us out of trouble.
Romario as well out. Is
exactly. So he's lost
Romero,
both of them.
Yeah.
And he's lost Maddison at the front end of the team, and it's killed Tottenham. It's just showed that they're short of depth.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to admire it. You've got to. I loved hearing that, Martin, I must say. And if he tries the same thing at the Etihad, then go win it, Ange.
Does it feel he's going to fall on his sword, though, in the way that because he's hell-bent on... I've just been looking at the statistics. Against Villa, they lost 2-1, didn't they? 60% possession. Something similar against Wolves, 2 late goals, which really finished them off. The game against Chelsea was really quite significant, because if you had an army of coaches in the room, not many would have elected with 9 players to have stood on the halfway line quite in that manner. And it was an exercise of...
That was ridiculous.
It seemed like incompetence from Chelsea, really, didn't it? Because... How many opportunities did they need to eventually put the game away? And in the end, actually, they nearly got an equaliser, didn't they, the other end? So I admire what they're doing, but were you going against City here, Man City, who, is that 23 home games they've won on the bounce now, 23, 24 home games, which is an incredible record that they've got. Well, they missed out and they drew the last
Liverpool,
one, sorry, against
Maybe
Liverpool.
This is the only way
didn't
to
quite
beat
make it. But, yeah, I mean, they looked vulnerable. Went 2 goals down at half-time in midweek, Man City, looking a lot more human than they have done in recent years. But such is the routine for a home game that you kind of feel they're just going to be cannon fodder for Man City with Haaland, the form that he's in, and Spurs without the key players that Stuart's talked about.
The other side of that is, as Martin said, 24 victories in a row.
23
victories in a row. Vast majority of those teams would have gone to Manchester City and said, we'll defend deep and counter-attack. And Manchester City have won 23 of them.
Yeah.
If I was Ange, I would say, what are we good at? What do I like watching? We're going to go and play the way I want to play. Because I tell you what, it'll be an exciting game, and we're in the entertainment business.
But even without the players you mentioned there, Stuart, quite rightly, Maddison, Van der Ven, even without them, still go. Still do it.
What message does that send out? Imagine you, when you're in here, someone comes in and fills in for you. And the information I'm going to give them now is we're not going to do the show the same as Jim does it, because... You know what? I don't really trust you to do it. I tell you what we'll do. We'll just talk about this and this subject. You can't do that. You've got to trust the players that come in.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, that high line, though, can you do that high line with no disrespect here, but you've got Davis, you've got Emerson, there's talk of him maybe playing central defence. Have they got the pace that these 2 central defenders and normal ones have?
I think the high line was highlighted because of the Chelsea game. And the Chelsea game become your 2 players down. It become whatever we do. If we sit deep, we still would have got hit. I think they'd have lost the game. I'll tell you what, they are very close to nicking an equaliser at one stage in that game.
That's right. But I mean, if you're Jeremy Doku, you fancy it though, don't you?
Oh, 100%.
You know,
I
for
can't
City.
wait to watch the game, to be fair. I
I'm
think it'd
the
be a
same.
brilliant game to watch.
One thing I would say, Stuart, I sat with Alex Crew at Tottenham against Villa last weekend, and I did feel Tottenham somehow would equalise at the end. Villa will win it 2-1. As we leave the game at the end, the home fans know they've just witnessed a home defeat. But I didn't hear much cursing and blinding.
Yeah.
And they love the way they attempt from minute 1 to minute 90 to try and put the ball in the opposition's net.
And in all honesty, that's all that matters, those fans. Because those fans
They've seen it all
dictate.
for many years.
They've seen it all.
Yeah.
They've been disappointed for many years. They're
Right.
very vocal, the Tottenham fans,
Yeah.
when they're not happy.
Yeah.
And if the fans are happy, the board of directors are happy, that means the manager's in a safe position.
How will it go?
Oh, Man City will win. I think they'll win 3-0 because Tottenham have got too many of their top players out, and I don't think they'll contain Manchester City.
So does Ange still go about it, even with these top players out?
I'm not sure. Put it this way: if you're a manager,
Does it help them that they've had the 7 days rest though, Spurs?
It might do.
Getting a few people back, 1 or 2 players arriving back. I mean, another game for Man City, 1 or 2 injury problems. It's pretty well the same team, isn't it, each game?
Let me ask you this question: if after 6 or 7 games of the season, when Tottenham are sat top of the league, and when you were asked the question, are they title contenders? I bet you didn't say, 100% they'll definitely win the league this year. You would probably have said
They'll slip away eventually.
They'll slip away eventually because of the depth of the squad. It's just been exposed very early because of suspensions and injuries.
Right.
But when they went out of the League Cup early on, no games in Europe, I thought 7 days between each game was up to Christmas. I'd have thought maybe they had a chance of staying top. Now they fell away from it. It's going to get ever difficult for
If
them.
Ange's players finish more, though,
course it is.
Stuart, they could have been 4 up last weekend against Villa in the first 20 minutes.
As a manager, what you do, you use this to your advantage. You turn round and, like he's done, we play the way we play and the way I like to play. And while I'm at the club, this is how we play. Brilliant statement from the manager. It sends a message out to the boardroom that says, look, this squad isn't big enough to carry on playing a standard of football that our fans absolutely love to get the results because we're fragile. Now, we've exposed that already after 11 games or 10 games. Support me. Exactly that, Mark. Support me.
Stuart goes 3-0 City. What about you, Martin?
I think a 2-0 win for City.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a runaway game because they always are in a game, aren't they?
Yeah,
Son on the break, on
Yes.
the counter-attack. Kulusevski, really like the look of him.
But despite that all-out attacking philosophy of Ange, you both predicted no goals for Tottenham.
No, they'll control things, Man City. They punish you with their passing, and they really are an elite team right now.
All right.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.